Pakistan there has also attempted an attack on Pathankot as far as late last night is concerned. My colleague Karthik Malhotra joining us from the newsroom. Karthik, multiple explosions being heard as of this morning from various bordering areas. Jammu is reporting a complete blackout.
That's right, Shweta. In fact, even in the Poonch sector, there have been some artillery shells being fired. In fact, the visuals that we were playing, rather the audio that we were playing on Black some time back, if we just hear that audio, it's very clear that in the Poonch sector, in the wee hours of the morning, there has been some artillery shelling, which can very, very clearly be heard. But this, of course, comes, a few hours perhaps later or after. Right now, there's a lot of sources of information and disinformation which are at play. So I think it's important to be careful at this point. So we don't know exactly when, but the visuals on your screen right now are the ones which we saw last night in the Jammu sector, where Pakistan had launched a swarm drone attack on at least 3 cities in India, including over Jammu and Pathankot. And India was very successfully able to take them down using the Russian S-400 surface-to-air missile system that we have. Now, of course, the S-400 is one of the more sophisticated, machinery available with the Indian Armed Forces. This, for the context of our viewers, is similar to what Israel had used, which Israel referred to as the Iron Dome. So this is India's response to the swarm drone attacks from Pakistan. The S-400s have a long range of as much as 400 kilometers. So any enemy, any foe activity in the air can be picked up by these S-400 launchers, and very specific guided munition can be fired, and those drones or missiles, whichever the case may be, can be taken off from the sky almost immediately. So absolute military accuracy in deployment of the S-400s, and the visuals on the screen will show you that you see those little red dots, which are the drones incoming towards India over Indian territory on Indian soil, and then they explode midair using the launches of the S-400. Now, of course, India has got about 3 squadrons of these S-400s, and there are another 2 squadrons which were to arrive by 2026 from Russia. But nonetheless, I think the S-400s have pretty much saved the day, not once, but for the second time, Shweta, because just a few hours before this action began, maybe around 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, we actually had reports of the previous night, which is the midnight of 7th and 8th of May, when similar strikes were launched on as many as 15 cities in India. Now, those were not drone strikes, those were not swarm drones, but those were missile strikes, which Pakistan had launched on as many as 15 cities in India, all the way from the northern border of Jammu and Kashmir, coming down to Punjab, to Rajasthan and to Gujarat. And every one of those has been neutralized by the Indian Armed Forces. So, of course, the S-400 pretty much saving the day there. But reports are also telling us that it's not just the S-400s. Right. We also have the L-70s, which are specific anti-drone launch pads that we have. So these are the ones that pick up the smaller heat signature of drones and are able to launch and strike those drones. So at one level, you have the S-400, which has pretty much been the hero of the warfare so far as India is concerned. But then it also has a sibling which goes by the name of L-70, and these L-70s are specifically drone targeting missiles, which India has also deployed. Now coming,
Karthik,
go ahead.
Stay with us. I mean, there's also a barrage of news items coming in, but let's quickly run our viewers through what's transpired since late last night up until this morning. There were multiple missile and drone attacks that Pakistan attempted to carry out in Jammu, in Pathankot, in Jaisalmer, all of which were thwarted by India using the S-400 that you were talking about. So it's been a developing and an escalating situation since late last night.
No, it has definitely been, and I think the onus of that escalation squarely lies on Pakistan and Pakistan alone, because India faced the horrific April 22nd Pahalgam terrorist attack, the very cowardly attack which was done. As we now know, Vikram Misri, our foreign secretary, has also confirmed that TRF, the resistance front, had taken responsibility for the Pahalgam attack. The TRF is an affiliate of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, And of the 9 strikes as part of Operation Sindoor 1.0, if we can call it that now, one of the, in fact, the major action was targeted towards taking out these LET as well as Lashkar-e-Toiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed terror camps. And Lashkar-e-Toiba is the parent organization of its affiliate TRF. So it started with Pakistan, and Pakistan harbored terrorist organizations which are operating in terror camps on the soil of Pakistan. They launched the first attack on India, and make no bones, that is exactly what the story is. Pakistan was the first on April 22nd to launch a terrorist attack on India in Pahalgam, which led to the lives of the death of 26 civilians. Post that, 15 days later, India launched Op Sindoor, and Op Sindoor, the objective of Op Sindoor was to go ahead and target those terror camps, and only those terror camps, and no military installations. But look what Pakistan has done 24 hours after Op Sindoor. Pakistan launches strikes on 15 Indian bases, Army and Air Force bases, all the way from Srinagar and Avantipura in the north, in the Jammu and Kashmir sector, coming down to to Bhuj in Gujarat. And then Rajasthan in between. So you have seen this escalatory measure by Pakistan, and India was faced with no option but to retaliate. What India did in response was take out the air defense system of the Lahore airstrip, and followed by that one launcher of the HQ-9.
Absolutely, and I want to come to that as well. India taking out the air defense system of Lahore, and since what's transpired late last night, the situation has moved significantly up on the escalatory ladder, Karthik.
Absolutely, exactly. So as a retaliation to India's retaliation of taking down the HQ-9 missile launchers and the radar and the air defenses at the Lahore airstrip, Pakistan, in just a few hours from there, launches this massive drone attack on India. So who's the one who's escalating matters here? I think the answer is pretty obvious. It is Pakistan, which has taken the escalation ladder many notches up. I think it has jumped 3 or 4 steps on that escalation ladder. And India has thus far successfully taken out every single one of those drones and missiles which have been targeted towards Indian soil. Now, beyond that, there are reports also circulating, Shweta, which we do have some source-based confirmation, but given that there is just so much happening, on the border front right now, a little bit of disclaimer here that what we know is partly source-based and partly what we are reading from other reports being published. And there seems to be now, at least as per confirmation coming in from Newswire ANI, that India has taken down one F-16, not F-16 necessarily, but one Pakistani aircraft over Pathankot airspace. Now, yesterday evening, there were also reports, unconfirmed as they may be, there were reports that somewhere around Jaisalmer, the Indian forces, ground forces, have captured a Pakistani pilot. Now, if you were to corroborate the two, if one aircraft has been shot down and if a pilot has been captured, again, a disclaimer, we don't have any official confirmation from the government of India on that front just as yet, but there were reports flashing last evening, in fact, late last night in wee hours of the morning, that India has gone ahead and captured one pilot. But for the last 5 or 6 hours that we have been trying to track this story, there has been no further development and no further confirmation or even denial on the fact that we have captured a pilot. But if an aircraft has been shot down...